If you plan to live with a car for a long time, reliability means everything, especially when you're shopping for an SUV. Today's SUVs have come a long way from those dusty, dirty, and tough cars of yesterday. In turn, they're also becoming more expensive, which leaves prospective shoppers with limited options. Shopping for an SUV, however, does have its drawbacks. Shoppers must consider what model, engine, cab configuration, and trim level to look for. One way to shorten the list of options is to understand which SUVs to avoid. So here are the 10 deadliest SUVs in America. The Jeep Wrangler. Jeeps have a reputation for being tough and gritty off-road vehicles, but the Wrangler is one of the most dangerous SUVs on the road. Its 28% chance of rolling over is the worst among all SUVs in America, while its poor ratings for side crash tests and visibility make the two-door model even worse than the four-door version. Marginal scores in its head and small overlap crash tests only add to the fright customers have for this vehicle. Another issue regarding the Wrangler is the number of recalls that have plagued it for the past 10 years. Every model since 2005 has had countless recalls for various parts. These include the brakes, the transmission, the fuel system, wiring, engine systems, emission systems, and much more. Sometimes the issues get fixed, but that's only if the owner actually took the vehicle in to have the problem rectified. Unless you can be certain of the vehicle's past, the Wrangler is an SUV every American should overlook. The Audi Q3. Nobody would blame you for believing that the Q3 is a safe vehicle, due to it being named the top safety pick for the 2016 model year. But don't let that fool you, because this luxury SUV is one of the deadliest in America. The Premium Plus model, starting at $34,500, is one of the worst SUVs for visibility due to its poor headlight options. Furthermore, with the SUV's 90% chance of electrical failure typically occurring while the vehicle's driving at high speeds, combined with its lack of available front crash prevention technology, the Q3 leaves much to be desired in the safety department compared to others in its class. The Tesla Model X. Although the Model X received a perfect score in the Consumer Reports owner survey, with the majority of buyers happy with the purchase, we feel obligated to include it on this list due to the vehicle's unreliability and its fatally flawed autopilot system. In terms of reliability, Consumer Reports found it to be one of the least reliable vehicles in 2017, discovering issues related to the brakes, its interior trim, its all-wheel drive system, and much more. But the most shocking fatal flaw of the Tesla Model X is its autopilot system. Although Tesla claims that its self-driving technology makes driving safer and reduces traffic, in reality this technology has proven to be ineffective at best and fatally flawed at worst. In 2018, a Tesla Model X crashed into a concrete median near Mountain View, California. The car's automated autopilot feature crashed it into a narrow concrete barrier at over 80 miles per hour, after which it was struck twice by two following vehicles and exploded into flames. Another Tesla Model X autopilot crash happened in January of 2018, when a Tesla slammed into a parked fire truck. Tesla's response was that autopilot is intended for use only with a fully attentive driver. So to sum it all up, the Tesla Model X may be fast, and it may have some road presence, but there's nothing luxurious about a service bay, or crashing due to faulty autopilot technology. The Mercedes-Benz GL. The Mercedes-Benz GL was first launched in 2006 to compete in the luxury SUV segment, though many observers felt it was a little late to the party. Some of the most common problems with the Mercedes-Benz GL include rough shifting, brake and rotor failure, and oil leakage coming from the vent housing. Another hot problem with the GL is that the car's seat warmers can smoke and even catch fire. According to CarComplaints.com, one owner claims that they turned on the seat warmer while driving. In a very short amount of time, there was a strong burning smell and thick smoke. They felt intense heat on their back and realized the source was the seat itself, and within minutes a cloud of smoke filled the car. The BMW X5. The X5 is a mid-sized luxury SUV from BMW that was produced since 1999. According to BMW, the X5 is more tailored as a sports activity vehicle rather than an SUV. The most common problem reported is the air suspension, which can cost around $3,000 to fix. You're also likely to experience problems with the thermostat, the water pump, front universal joint failure, fuel pump leakage, and airbag ruptures. Valve cover gasket leaks as well as a loss of power steering due to leaking hoses are also common. BMW did a better job with the 3 Series, but failed to impress with the X5. The Jeep Grand Cherokee. Star Trek actor Anton Yelchin wasn't so lucky when his Jeep Cherokee killed him in 2016. Here's why he died. The Jeep Cherokee has been experiencing some consistent transmission troubles. The ZF 9-speed auto transmission simply doesn't adhere to the usual quality standards. It shifts roughly, has odd shift points, and even suffers from sudden breakdown. These are the only few transmission-related problems that gave headaches to Jeep Cherokee owners. In Cherokee's defense, it's the first vehicle that's been outfitted with the 9-speed ZF transmission, so both ZF and FCA are probably using the SUV as some sort of test bed. So if you're thinking about purchasing a Jeep Cherokee, think first if you'll be comfortable being their guinea pig. The Land Rover Discovery Sport. Since the new Land Rover Discovery Sport comes with such a high price tag, many opt to purchase the SUV used, though this is definitely not the best idea considering the reliability issues. The Discovery was reported to be UK's most unreliable car by DailyMail.com, with a whopping 71% of them breaking down at least once a year. On top of breaking down often, the Discovery requires a great deal of repairs as well. Some of the repairs reported by customers include transmission failure, electrical problems, brake issues, and suspension component failures. The Dodge Durango. If an older Dodge Durango is what you're aiming at, it's important to know that the models from the 2000s suffered from very unreliable engines, which were prone to building up oil sludge and had a habit of failing. The Durango's Magnum V8 engine simply can't be counted on among some of the better things that Chrysler produced over the years. Newer Durangos, on the other hand, suffer from FCA's well-known faulty totally integrated power module, which in turn can lead to all kinds of electrical issues. It's no matter why most of the 2011 through 2013 model year Durangos have been recalled for this issue. The Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer has had long and well-documented transmission issues, most notably during the early 2000s. It's suggested that 1 out of 10 of the 2002 through 2000 Ford Explorers won't be able to avoid transmission failure somewhere down the line. Hard shifting, skipping gears, and a flashing OD light are what accompanies this issue. Typically, the early 2000 Explorer can be fine for anything between 50,000 miles and 100,000 miles, before requiring an entirely new transmission. You'll agree, however, that a vehicle with this kind of mileage on its odometer shouldn't require a rebuilt transmission. The Buick Enclave. The Buick Enclave was a step in the right direction for Buick, who desperately needed something modern in their lineup. However, its automatic transmission can kill you. For starters, the transmission was misprogrammed from the beginning, leading to strange behavior like improper shifts and high RPM count at cruising speeds, leading to lousy gas mileage. Then there was the issue with the shift cable adjustment clip, which wasn't fully engaged. In other words, the lever and the actual position of the gear sometimes didn't match. This means the driver could have put the shifter in park, but the vehicle would have stayed in drive. The Nissan Pathfinder. Now, the Nissan Pathfinder has always been one of the most competitive vehicles in its segment. However, early third-generation SUVs were plagued by coolant leakages which have ruined countless transmissions. A defective radiator tank design that ruptures and leaks coolant is to blame. When coolant mixes with transmission fluid, it triggers an irreversible process of transmission erosion. The Honda CR-V. If you see a new Honda CR-V for sale at a reasonable price, don't jump on the opportunity just yet. There's something off with one of the most popular compact SUVs in the US. Many CR-V owners have reported unnatural vibrations coming from both the engine and the transmission. Needless to say, they have experienced them straight after delivery, which can only mean one thing. It's a defect on Honda's part. The new Honda CR-V often shakes violently while at idle and at low RPMs. And it not only comes from the shifter, but the steering wheel as well, and the dash and the pedals. Apparently, Honda has found a solution, but neither they nor the dealers seem obligated to inform the owners. This can only mean that Honda is trying to keep this one quiet. In other words, they know they've screwed things up, epically. The Chevy Equinox. Unfortunately for prospective Equinox buyers, some early first-generation models have suffered from well-documented head gasket problems. It's probably due to the poor design of the engine cooling system, but the Equinox's 3.4-liter V6 engine deserves the title of head gasket eater. Maybe it has to do something with the fact that it was made in China. The Chevy Equinox is one risky car to buy, and it will likely fail somewhere down the line, if it hasn't failed the previous owner already. Needless to say, if you decide to join the army of disappointed Equinox owners, be prepared to rebuild or change your engine entirely. A blown head gasket requires nothing less if not treated preemptively. The Kia Sorento. The Kia Soreno's main problem is related to the engine and the engine cooling, so it was crucial to save your oil change receipts if you wanted Kia to honor the warranty. That's one thing that many Kia second generation owners learned the hard way. They were baffled by the fact that their car excessively burned oil even after changing it regularly. It doesn't matter if it's a 4-cylinder or a V6, the Soreno's engines are prone to catastrophic failures. Well guys, those are the deadliest SUVs of all time. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you like what you see at the channel, subscribe and put post notifications on. You could also follow the channel on Instagram at Modern Muscle YT. I'm Jeff from Modern Muscle, and I'll see ya next time.